Your eyes do not deceive you. Welcome to 2020, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a rough ride to get back here. We have struggled. We have had setback after setback, but we never forgot about you guys. Not once.
Nope.
But like I said, your eyes do not deceive you. Canvas Chaos is back. My co-host, Hollywood Eric.
I'm Hollywood Eric 86. I apologize. And you said something kind of funny about how we've never forgot about them. I'm pretty sure they haven't forgot about us, because didn't predictions we had years ago already come to fruition in some ways?
Yes, we'll get to that in a moment.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's kind of ironic how you say that, but yet our predictions come around and then all of a sudden we're relevant again.
Well,
kind of like how Vince McMahon does his wrestling product.
2020 has been a difficult year for everyone involved, including the pro wrestling industry.
My latest video proves that.
Yes. And like my co-host said, our thoughts and wishes are with everybody who have COVID, not just in the pro wrestling industry, but more in tune with what's going on right now and with the industry that we follow with this show. Our hearts and souls and our best wishes are with Dean Ambrose, aka John Moxley, and his wife Renee Young.
Come to find out, Kayla Braxton actually had it more than once and twice, and then she took the tweet down. But I didn't know that. That came out just a few minutes before we went on the air.
But no, our thoughts and prayers are with them. Speedy recovery.
And to the 120,000 plus people or whatever that have already lost their lives. Our lives got to their families and everything, and it's a real difficult time for everybody. And I don't mean to be all laid back and casual, but I mean it's funny how setbacks in other states are causing more mass panic, and everything. It's just
we're not.
I know, but
political.
It's just no.
That was the word that you were looking for the other night in your video.
I did say I was political. I did use the word political.
Yeah, but no,
I went political, but it wasn't for anything bad. We don't get into that.
Here's what needs to happen. Here's the thing. Everybody just needs to stay safe. We are coming from the beautiful location here in our hometown of Nathaniel Green Park. They have graciously allowed us to come here and record. We wanted a beautiful I wanted a beautiful backdrop for this time, because too many people are having to self-quarantine, and they deserve something nice to look at. And I know plenty of people miss the outside, so I thought a good backdrop for the first few episodes would be this beautiful location.
Well, I enjoy the location. It's kind of laid back, quiet, and if we ever get a chance I can do it, I can vent without nobody yelling at me.
Yep. But
except for you, of course.
But no, on to
I get overboard.
Mission statement for the return of Canvas Chaos. We're not going to get into it to this episode. This episode's about being joyous, and I don't want to bring anybody down. But there was a lot of things that led to us leaving and not returning.
Oh, everybody probably would know why we would let us to leave, and they probably already know.
We have a lot of things in the iron.
Algorithms are the reason.
We have a lot of things in the fire right now. There's a lot of things coming up. You're fine, buddy. We got to get back into mesh. We always have had two different styles, but
Well, you said that nobody really knows. I'm pretty sure nobody knows. I'm just going to say algorithms are the reason.
That's part of it.
Big issue a couple years back, wasn't
then there was equipment issues, and then there was family issues. Then there was personal health issues on my end.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you're back. By the way, gave me quite a scare there. If I thought I was going to be able to, I thought I was going to have to start this back up again by myself.
But no, long story short, what I'm wanting to achieve out of this is get back to doing some breaking news segments. Also getting into doing our personal opinions of the current state of the business. Now, the current state of the business, me and him, neither one of us are going to tear into it at the moment, because the fact that we're still getting any type of product in this current situation is a miracle in itself.
Well, I'm just going to tear into one thing. It's not really anything bad. It's backstage bullshit, of course.
Well, we're not going to...
Well, it's of a recent thing.
I mean, we're not going to be hypocritical at the moment of,
Seriously?
It's not their fault they can't have fans.
Not the fans part. That's not the issue. It's backstage stuff, changes.
As far as I would go, we shouldn't have had a Mania this year. We should have postponed it.
At least a SummerSlam. Should have given freaking McIntyre They should have given McIntyre.
I'm sorry, that wasn't Mania. It didn't feel like Mania.
It felt like Mania in the Boneyard match, though. That Buried Alive match. That was the best match of the card.
The cinematic matches were amazing.
Except for the fun. That was the
Firefly Funhouse
was garbage.
It was not. It was funny.
The only bright part is we haven't seen Skittles around since then.
It was funny.
We haven't seen the Fruity Pebble bitch since then. Excuse the word, because that's what I use him on this one. Excuse that. I've been around clean people too much, and I forgot how to address him.
Well, we'll have to watch it how we address while we use this beautiful location.
I'll try. I can't guarantee that when it pertains to him.
But no,
with him tying a record he don't earn.
we'll get into that later, but another episode. But here's the thing.
Better get an hour's worth. You better get an hour camera thing. You want to do that one?
No, we want to let you guys know today in this episode of Canvas Chaos, pretty much like a mission statement. We're coming back. We're going to do our best. He is more suited to do the breaking news segments. If I have to be involved in those, I will be. But if it's something that he can handle alone, that's pretty much where his bread and butter is. He's able to stay on top of those things more than I am.
Yeah, but still, it'd be kind of fun if you could do one with me and release it on either your Kryptic TV channel you have on YouTube or somewhere on Twitch or whatever. I've felt good that I've actually done 4 of them, even though it says 5, but I didn't do the breaking. I think I did a breaking news one, and I don't know what happened to it. Yeah. The first one.
Well, we're in a growing process. I mean, we've had successes, we've had failures as a show, but I think this show, the primary episodes of the major show, both the two of us will have more success on my channel.
I honestly think certain people were afraid of us last time, is why we got kicked off.
And breaking news on his, we tried to go another route. We tried to do a whole channel just for the show by itself. And that's when, due to the fact that the channel was just starting out, it became increasingly difficult. It was like something was working against the channel. Where my channel being a little bit more established, it was harder to take on like that. So that's why we decided that Canvas Chaos episodes that involve both of us, that are majorly produced with all the equipment. He does his best at home with what he has. He's limited on certain things, but we're going to work on getting him some more equipment for his house, so he can start doing different videos there too. Yeah,
but I've enjoyed doing it. Yeah, I know the equipment I use now is a little different from my original one, but I think I've upgraded because a lot of people see this mug here when they're not supposed to. My illusion was to be mysterious, and now a lot of people know what my eyes look like.
He's supposed to be the one that's mysterious, but my name's Kryptic.
In technical terms, I've only revealed my identity once, and when I revealed my identity once, he went running, and we haven't heard from him since then. And I hope he hears this so he can come out of hiding.
Yeah.
He can challenge me again about how John Cena was respectful. Give me a break.
Okay, well, no.
I'm sorry, but I just had to throw that out there.
Yeah, fine.
Like somebody else that I've heard that I rant about that runs from me, or blocks me on Twitter because he's a baby. Like you too.
But no. The biggest mission statement that I think we have is we're going to start doing more than just this. He's going to stay on top of the breaking news because it's easier for him to do so. If it's a big thing, we'll address it in the main show.
Oh, trust me, I'll address it like I did today, like I did for our upcoming ones in my video that I released last night that I had more to come. I couldn't tell the audience what we were doing today. I had to keep it a secret.
You released that 2 days ago, and we were originally planning on being here yesterday to film, but
doesn't matter. I didn't give a time frame. I just said something's in the works and we'll address it later.
But no, the biggest thing I think that I'm looking forward to, I don't know about you, Hollywood.
I'm looking forward to all of this, man. It's fun.
Is we're going to do something called, we're going to start a show. Now this hopefully can get started next week, but if it can't, it'll be within the next 2 weeks. I want to do something, we had this idea called Porch Talk. And what we're going to do with that is we're going, for the time being, until our audience grows larger, until Kryptic Nation gets even larger. We're Canvas Chaos Nation on Kryptic TV and our Hollywood Eric's channel. Until it gets larger, we're going to personally take turns picking a pay-per-view from the past. And we're not just talking like the immediate past. We're talking all the way back as far as we have to.
Don't worry. I'm not going to pick anything from the 80s right off the bat like you think I would, or something that's not. My first pay-per-view, because it's in your ballpark, it will be a WCW one. I literally, that's out of respect for you.
ECW's on the table.
I don't know about that one. You ripped that apart too much. We're going to be like Tony Schiavone, only concentrate on Francine and not worry about the rest of the pay-per-view.
No, what we're going to do, though, is we're going to go back with old pay-per-views.
I love you, Tony. That was an inside joke. I love you to death. I'm glad you're back.
We're going to go back to old pay-per-views, and we're going to watch them. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to film an episode of Porch Talk. And what we're going to do is we're going to tear it down in our each own opinions of what we thought of each match segment, what we'd have done personally different, if anything. and then see about your feedback. And then once
Are we gonna bring coffee on this porch talk? Is that about the only time I remember?
Canvas Chaos Nation gets bigger, then we're going to start opening up for you. We'll give you multiple choices. You'll choose the pay-per-view.
Or maybe we could surprise the audience one time with an actual live pay-per-view reaction as it goes on.
Well, one day. We have
Just
to.
I may not
the legality of it when it comes to if you guys wanted a WWE one. I already
we don't
have.
gotta air it,
I
we can
already
just hear
have
the audio.
We already have on file, and I can prove it to you on another episode if you guys want to see it. I have on file permission from AEW themselves, which is cool.
Okay, why would you want to agree to something that you mock because of certain people that
mock it?
Really? I wonder why you were mocking me for what I'm wearing right now. If that wasn't the case.
It already begins.
Exactly, because I'm not going to let you get away with it and be all innocent. You have to be honest. Why would you want to do business with people you say have a band of midgets in there?
What was the term they used for Daniel Bryan? What was that term?
I'm not going to repeat it because then you're going to agree. But Triple H was right on that one, but you're wrong on this one. B+ player.
Well, B+ at least doesn't, copy moves and then render them useless.
What moves do they copy?
Super kick.
Really? We're on the super kick thing again? That's just their shtick, dude.
I think it's hilarious that the Usos can sit there and do their own version of the super kick party and be blatantly stealing it, by the way, from the Young Bucks. And people find it hilarious.
What about all the other ones like Adam Cole, Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler?
You want to know my problem? My problem with them is not their wrestling ability. I've even told him.
I find that hard to believe.
They're good wrestlers. The problem is, I feel like they cheapen the move. Shawn Michaels made it devastating. Many people made that move devastating.
Do you actually know the first man to ever use it?
Oh, God.
I do, because it was in the 80s. It was actually a surprise. The guy that actually used the first trained Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It was
Gentleman Chris Adams.
I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, World Class Championship Wrestling.
It wasn't even on the tip of my tongue, but I
use it as a finisher. If you go back and watch that on some of them, you would. He was pretty good with it.
But no.
And Saturn used it as a thrust kick, and Glacier called it a chronic kick, but we all know the Sub-Zero's kick's better.
Glacier was one of those great failures.
It was a Mortal Kombat ripoff
of WCW. But no,
made me ashamed to hate Sub-Zero.
Porch Talk is something I'm very excited about.
Oh, me too. Sorry, we have to get off subject. We like to banter back and forth. By the way, I wanted to ask you, how was you able to get the agreement of AEW? This is new to me. I've never known this.
I know. I wanted to surprise you on this episode. I reached out. I didn't expect to hear anything back due to how, we're not huge.
Did you talk to the Bucks of Youth, or did you talk to Tony Khan himself?
Actually, the permission
was it Cody?
Come through from actually Cody's wife.
Brandy?
It's signed by her and by him as well.
That means you might want to watch what you say about the Young Bucks and Omega, dude.
The cool thing about the paper is that they sat there and they stated that they looked forward to our honest opinions of their product, whether it be good or bad. And why
did they hate Jim Cornette so much?
They wanted to be the very first company to allow us, as long as we didn't show the broadcast live, to have live reactions to their pay-per-views.
But see, why did they hate Jim Cornette?
What they were getting at, what they specified was as long as we didn't show like the screen, we could. We could be recorded. We could put the camera right beside the TV, right?
Yeah.
And they can hear the audio of the pay-per-view.
Like with WWE when I did with my videos.
Okay, but we can't show it, and that's only if live. They said that if we were to be filming it and then going to be post-edit, meaning like we're filming it while it happens, but we're not posting it while it happens, if it's post-edit, then we can show the screen too. That's something I didn't think any company would agree to.
I think it's because they want to show that Vince McMahon's an idiot.
So I was like, that's cool, thank you, and I'm gracious for that.
Live reactions may be a little hard for you because I order the AEW events a lot of the times.
Oh, yeah. But still.
Do you have any opinions of their two pay-per-views they had?
From what I've seen, I haven't got to watch the second one. I've watched the first one.
What did you think from when I told you about the football stadium one, about some of the angles? Because I thought you hated it.
That made me regret not seeing that one, because that sounded like...
would have been able to if my DirecTV box hadn't went kaput and I had to get a new one.
But it's good. But no, we want to address that. Now, I would like to touch base on a couple things.
Sorry, we're babbling for almost 20 minutes. I apologize.
It's okay. this is just, like I said, kind of a state of what's going on and kind of a mission statement moving forward.
But don't we think we should address the predictions we had in our previous videos for 3 years ago where we got in trouble for, but yet proven right? Especially the main one that happened just recent. We should address that. We should let them...
Are you talking about the tiers?
Yeah, we should let the man upstairs know about how shutting us down doesn't make it any less doesn't make it, and trying to shut me down doesn't make it any less truthful.
Well, you know, we did predict a couple years ago that there was going to be tiers to the WWE.
It's not really a tier system, but they do got a free version of the network, and that's still close enough.
Due to the fact that we now know that there's going to be multiple tiers. Currently, there's only two. There's the free, and then there's the paid. But we do know, based on the emails sent out to multiple people, that there's going to be a third tier that's going to be in the middle. Not in the middle, but it's going to be the higher tier.
Yeah, the tier that they're claiming is not going to happen now, but we know different.
It's going to.
Oh, we know that. As I said, we know different.
It's just the reason it hasn't happened is I believe it's the same reason why.
That's like saying the Broken Hardys wouldn't come into WrestleMania.
They're not at their new headquarters, and you know how mad that makes Vince McMahon that he doesn't have his bigger corner office right now.
Let's not even get into that. Let's get into that. Let's not even talk about the out-of-touch old man.
You know how he gets about his dinosaur bones. People sit there and be like, he doesn't want to touch them because they're real. But like, he doesn't want him touching his dinosaur bones because they're his ex-wife. That's how old he is.
I wonder.
Antiquated.
I wonder.
But no.
What he did to Seth Rollins' character, I wonder.
Anyway,
it's shameful.
I don't even like Rollins, and they're doing him
you're just
dirty.
mad because he beat Triple H clean, something you swore he would never do. I get that for the rest of my life. I got to prove you wrong to your face at WrestleMania that the Kingslayer himself beat him clean when you swore he wouldn't.
Well,
that was the greatest victory. That was one of my great victories against you.
We all know, hands down, that if we'd had real Triple H, you'd have won.
No,
because real Triple H even beat Sting. Remember that.
We don't talk about that one. We all know the real backstage scene behind that, even though it's denied. But WCW fans should have did a revolt at Vince's office the next day. Since protesting is legal now, we should have started that freaking revolution back then.
Language down the kids in the park.
No, I said we should have started that revolution. I said people protest. We should have started that revolution and had his head then.
And by the way, if there's any technical issues, this thing we're getting used to the new equipment with the professional mics and the lenses and stuff. So I'll do my best in post-op editing, post-production editing to see what everything needs to be fixed. But the coronavirus came in like a widespread thing.
March 12th was the last time there was a crowd for any event. That was AEW, Dynamite, and NXT.
That has affected the pro wrestling industry. It has affected all.
What was supposed to have been a crowd's great moment and a guy's moment in history was tainted with silence.
Yes. Now,
but he's been a great champion.
There was one fan at WrestleMania.
Who?
The massive fan that they couldn't keep out of 9 of the shots on the ceiling of the Performance Center. Yeah, you can go look it up. Go back and watch. There's this huge ceiling fan that they would zoom out too far and see it, and it was the laughing stock of the entire pay-per-view. There's one fan.
It shouldn't have been laughing stock. That was like the trademark of ECW when they were at the arena. That's all they had was a fan.
I'm just saying it was the.
I know, and they still have. It's still showing on Raw on occasion too.
But anyway,
God, I wish McIntyre had a crowd, man. That stadium would have went nuts when he won. That was a crowning achievement for us, and it got tainted because of a virus.
Coronavirus went wide, and
so you honestly think Vince should have canceled?
Yes, I don't know how long it's going to affect us. I'm hoping that so far where we're at here is improving in some ways. But in 2020 is going to be a year remembered for a lot of things in the industry of pro wrestling. I'm hoping that it is limited to this year alone. I'm hoping that we get.
Well, with the other stuff, with another movement coming out, that may go for a while.
Yeah. Well,
no, it's not a bad thing. I wasn't like implying it as bad, but I'm saying, like you said, with the way wrestling is going now with the virus, with that coming up, that could be even longer, and that could be even worse.
We're gonna get to that in a moment.
I was just saying because I'm like, I see your point, but I'm like. Well, the other one, that could be something that we can't stop, because that could even taint it worse.
We don't need to stop that. We need to let that happen. But
I have my own opinions on it. Some of them may not be as good because of it, because it's kind of like the other one when it came out against actors, and you were very vocal on that one.
One of them.
Yes, but you were very vocal on a lot of other ones
Here's
because it
the
started
thing.
coming out.
I don't want to address them individually for one reason, because at the end of the day, when it comes to these things, there's too much on the line for either one of us to be right or wrong.
No, yeah.
Because if we support somebody, but we're wrong, then that is us being blatantly disrespectful.
Hence my video when I said we should still could support all wrestlers if you still look at them as gods and heroes.
Well, yeah.
That was my cry for us not to give up on them.
If you also blame someone and unjustly, believe their accusation, then what if they are honestly innocent? It's a gray area. So I don't personally want us to.
I base mine on certain ones because of facts.
Now, if someone is convicted with evidence of doing things, then yeah, we'll discuss it.
Or there's evidence that's already out there.
But before that, it's just our opinions.
Like a certain one in NXT.
That's not nice to do to anybody. But here's what I'm going to say. The movement that he just brought up is the speaking out movement. And anybody who has...
And it's not disrespectful in any way when I said that.
Or male, wrestling superstar, that doesn't matter. Anybody in the industry that feels like that they have been abused in that way, in some way, does need to speak out. It doesn't matter who the person is. If you believe that you've been mistreated...
Don't mean to on their net.
You're fine. If you've been mistreated, speak out. And here's the thing. Let the cards fall where they fall. There are people who've been spoken out against that shocked me. There's people who've been spoken out against that I absolutely positively believe it is. But here's the thing. I'm not going to name names because until people are either convicted or acquitted, it's
But we should name names on the ones that have been shown proof. Yeah. On the internet, that's actually definitive proof.
Well, like I said, until...
I do know that there are some wrestlers that's already had action taken. Impact's already fired 2 people and suspended 1. Which they fired Dave Christ from, they may know him from OVE, even though that ended whenever Sammy did his new gimmick as the hacker. And they got rid of, and then they fired Joey Ryan, which that's really no big loss because he's really a stain on the world of shit stain on the world of professional wrestling. He is, because he's not a wrestler. He's like he's like Orange Cassidy. He had accusations coming against him. He got fired, and then Michael Elgin had there's accusation of supposedly abusing women. Now this could stem from an allegation a couple years ago where he was found to have cheated on his wife, and he spoke out when he was in Japan, if you remember correctly. Yes. And it could have resurfaced or something else could have happened.
Well,
and he's suspended.
I personally won't speak on on anybody.
Marty Scurll's been implicated in stuff.
Yes, but I thought we agreed we wasn't going to name names until stuff was done.
Well, no. I'm just saying Marty Scurll was.
Let's stop doing that because we can be legally held liable if we're wrong.
Oh, but I'm saying he's already spoke out against that too, and everything. Well, there is one that we do need to discuss though that did apologize for what happened, even though he's suspended.
Well, let's address one last thing for this episode. But like I said, if you're a part of this industry and you feel like you have been wronged in that way, you do need to speak out, and I support anybody who's
but just because I name names doesn't mean I think they're guilty. They're just allegations, and I really hope everything's gets done right,
Like I said,
I apologize if I offended people.
We have to watch what we do because honestly, in this day and age, I mean, there's that joke from South Park, and here's the sad thing. It is true. South Park touches on time the show South Park, even though it can be vulgar and you're wrong. They do have a tap on the American in general. And it's when Randy, being drunk, used to say, I'm sorry, I thought this was America. We used to be able to freely state our opinions and not have to worry about ramifications. Because last time I checked, the Constitution that I was raised with said freedom of speech. But unfortunately, as we discovered last time trying to do this, if you don't handle things the legal way, the right way, you can be silenced.
Or attempted to be.
So that's why...
Somebody's already tried to silence me. It didn't work.
There are people that I believe, personal opinion, that have been called out, did it. But due to legal reasons, until they're proven...
Before we do that, there is one that's been eating at my brain. And I really wanted your opinion. I know about the name names thing, but I seen the definitive proof of what was out against him. I want your opinion on it. We're not going to accuse him, although I have my opinion on it, but I want yours. Velveteen Dream.
You
He's
know,
the biggest one that we should.
Before I tell you my opinion, let me say this. This one hurt the most because
I'm not a fan of him personally. Wrestling fans, you should know that. I've never really been a fan
here's
of
the thing,
work.
that there has been and always has been a stigma against the black community in pro wrestling. They haven't ever got their they've gotten their moments in the sun, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They've had their moments of glory, but for the most part, they have been held down in pro wrestling.
There is a black wrestler right now in WWE that I really do like that I think should get a bigger push if it ever gets it, and that's Keith Lee.
Yes, you know, because we all need to bask in his glory.
Yeah, and Keith Lee's, but not only that, his ability is amazing.
Yes.
Just to get on the subject of this thing that we support.
But let me say, before Keith Lee even hit the picture, the reason that this one is so hurtful to NXT and to WWE and to the whole pro wrestling industry is he doesn't like Velveteen Dream. I'm personally kind of like with his gimmick, but here's the thing:
like
one thing that we can't deny is the man had a following,
and he could work. I'll give him that.
And the man got over with it, which was hard.
I just don't like him mocking certain wrestlers, including Hulk Hogan.
But well, that's like what was his name, Machismo.
Oh God,
doing Macho Man.
I freaking hate Jay Lethal.
Anyway.
It's not because of anything. It's just that he's been an annoyance to me since his days in Impact.
Yes, but no. Touching on the Jay Lethal thing, when it first started,
I do respect his following in Ring of Honor about how good he is.
Well, yeah, but when we come to not Jay Lethal, but when we come to Velveteen Dream, when it all first started, I was like, okay, this could be someone who tried to get with him or
and
tried
it was
something.
Weird.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm just giving you my opinion.
Yeah.
I was like, this could be something where somebody tried to get with him or was interested and he wasn't, and now they're trying to frame him.
Are you referring to the first time?
The first time.
And I knew and that was right before his championship match at NXT.
Well, then
on the show.
Yeah. Well, then it kind of tailspinned, and it's been one person after another coming forward, and I find it sad. And if it's found to be true, then that is horrific. And
especially for Triple H, because he's got plans. He had big plans for him.
Yeah, but here's the thing: he needs to. This is my opinion. My opinion is there's too much evidence on him right now.
Way too much.
He needs to not be on TV. He needs to be taken off, and he doesn't need to be fired. But I think a temporary suspension until things are proven is warranted.
I can't really discuss my opinion on what you said about the suspensions. I think there's other things we know that never goes the way they're supposed to.
Yep. But I want to address one last thing for this episode of Canvas Chaos, so we can round this out. This morning, we discovered that something had happened, and we don't have all the details yet. I have an inside source that says one thing, but we're not exactly sure.
Yeah, you actually beat me to a source this time. That was surprising.
But yeah, and it is surprising because this is the area that you follow.
Yeah.
And the area that is is Tessa Blanchard, the former now, which is former TNA.
Oh, that's hard to say.
Yes, because she was a trendsetter. She wasn't.
This was a big one for you because this was a big one for me because I didn't think how you felt about women winning men's titles, world titles.
No, it wasn't a men's title. Here's the thing: it was she broke that barrier, and when it happened,
didn't China do that first though?
With the Intercontinental, this is the first world title. And when it happened, I think
she deserved it.
When it happened, I literally sat there and I told my wife, who follows wrestling loosely, not as much as us.
Like she used to.
I said, you know how big this is? I said, this is a huge deal. Did I
tell you about it, or did you read about it?
I knew about it on my own, and I was sitting there, and I was following it, knew about the match, knew it was happening, and I was like, man.
I was picking Tessa all the way.
And yes, there was a lot of controversy when it first happened.
Because of her allegations that came out in January about stuff.
That it has not been confirmed why Tessa Blanchard was terminated from her Impact Wrestling contract and stripped of the world title. It has not been confirmed yet. The rumors running around is it's based off of the stuff, lack of her willing to do certain promotional
things. And more
things,
about it just a little bit ago,
and stuff about January, that stuff. However, there are other sources that I'm in touch with that are reporting that she was trying to negotiate her contract was up very soon, and she had one more date to perform. Contractually, she was only obligated to appear at the next pay-per-view in July, I think.
July 18th was Slammiversary.
And defend her title. She probably would have.
Impact's doing real good with the releases that happened earlier this year. With they saying one former world champion's already there.
Well,
I think he's the fourth guy.
She probably would have dropped it then, but that was all she was contractually obligated to do. They wanted her to submit some more promo work, and she tried to negotiate. She didn't do it, and she tried to negotiate a per rate agreement, because she wasn't contractually obligated to do any of that.
Because her contract ended June 30th.
Yeah. So she's already performed because they've already recorded, from what I understand.
And that was the issue, because she was supposed to do promos and they had to rewrite the June 1st episode that already aired, and it made them angry. And then Joe trying to bring her back to drop the belt, and she wouldn't do it because she's in quarantine in Mexico because Mexico was bad at the time. She couldn't perform. But they kept her as champion when they announced her in an intergender 5-way, which may not happen now because, like we reported earlier, Elgin's been suspended for allegations for the movement, and now she's gone.
Okay, but back to the other thing is the other sources are proclaiming that it has nothing to do with the January stuff. It has everything to do with partially the promotional issues and the contract negotiations.
And the shocker you told me about.
And that her people who are in charge of necessarily touching on the people who represent her in her contractual negotiations were discovered by Impact to be having discussions with the people who represent Charlotte, aka there were certain people that represent Tessa that were caught literally having a discussion about Tessa's future with Ric Flair.
So stay tuned for breaking news.
So there may be, and I know that Charlotte is currently out on injury, but we all know it's an elective surgery. We don't know what type.
I didn't even know it was an elective surgery.
I am not going to assume. The internet community has been very
From what I could see,
vulgar towards Charlotte on that, and I don't like that. It doesn't matter if it's an elective surgery or not. If she wants to go
why are
get
they being
something
mean
done,
to her for an electric surgery for? I didn't know anything about this. This is new.
they think she's getting work done. And they're like,
and it's none of their business if she is getting work done in areas. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I know you didn't like the character. I'm going to bring something up. I did like the character. Becky Lynch. She was on top of the industry. And what did she do? She has every right to be pregnant. She has every right to be a mother. I'm not sitting there saying that she doesn't.
Nope.
I'm saying being at the top and being responsible for an entire industry, an entire division, I think that was I had to agree with Shayna Baszler when she said that was a stupid decision at this time. So if anybody's going to go,
she's just being heelish,
no, because she honestly feels that way.
She does, really?
Yeah, she got caught on. She was on a podcast and got literally in trouble with WWE management because she said, "No, that's how I kind of feel." Really, she says, she was on top. There were many women who would have died to have been in her position, and she decides now to be Miss Mom or Mr. Mom.
Now, why is Rollins still on TV? I figured he'd be taking a break too.
But anyway,
at least take a break from the
if she can do that and you guys don't judge her, this is my point. If you guys don't judge her for that, okay, and I don't either.
I didn't judge Becky Lynch.
If you guys are going
to, the only problem I had was
then why can't Charlotte at the same time, who's been there busting her ass, go and take a surgery and be gone for a few weeks that she wants to do? She's only going to be gone for a few weeks. If we see Becky again, it's going to be sometime next year.
Maybe even that, or she made to do it. Brie Bella did and retire for a while.
Yes, I think the others will see Becky if we do see her again anytime soon.
Plus, I heard she may be getting movie roles.
The Rumble. But Charlotte has a few television things she has to do. And she has an elective surgery she's taking care of. But
as far as I know, it's on her arm from what I can tell from what happened with Nia Jax.
The biggest thing from my sources is the reason Impact let it go is because they know that there's a deal coming through probably from WWE. Which is shocking because Tessa was like, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. But Tessa's done the independent thing for a while now. Tessa's done something that nobody else has done. Now it's time
everywhere she's went.
Now it's time for her to do something she hasn't done. And he wants to see them team up. That'd be great.
Which.
But I think the match though, if they did fight, writes itself.
Yep. Because you got the daughter of the leader of the Horsemen and the daughter
I don't
of
think
another member.
there's enough time to build it up for SummerSlam. But if it's not SummerSlam, I think we both can agree upon this. This has to be a Mania.
Hell, you know, if our source is true, like I said, stay tuned for breaking news.
But
I think if she does come before SummerSlam, they can build this up in a month. Because if we know if Florida somehow dies down from their surges, and other states actually improve, and it is said that there will be an audience at SummerSlam, this can work. If the booking committee led by Blubber Love can actually do the thing right.
I want to address one thing. This is going to make you laugh, probably. I want to address this real quick. I have from my sources that right now that the reason with everything going on, Matt Riddle was still pulled up to SmackDown is not a good thing. Everybody who's a fan of Matt Riddle, cool, good for you. You have a right to cheer, you cheer.
I have a name for him too.
But let me say this.
Bro bitch.
Let me touch on base on this real quick.
I've never liked his character. Just to be clear, I never liked this character. I think he was another version of Zack Ryder.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
It's Zack Ryder's brother.
I want to give you two predictions that you heard it here first. He was brought to the main roster to be buried. He has a bad attitude in the back. This has been proven multiple times.
You got that shit right, he has.
Okay, he is disrespectful to other talents and thinks that he's better than he is.
I hope Goldberg spears him.
Actually, he's not fighting Goldberg. From what I understand,
Let's see him retire Brock like he thinks he can.
Yeah, from what my sources are saying,
on SmackDown.
Is Brock Lesnar is returning for when they do the new version of bragging rights this year and have Raw versus SmackDown, possibly Survivor Series, and it'll be Matt Riddle representing SmackDown versus Raw's Brock Lesnar.
Why would they want to kill him early?
And
I'd save that for WrestleMania.
Apparently, Vince wants it to happen early because Vince doesn't think Riddle needs to be on Mania.
Why don't we address his allegations too? He was accused too from the speaking out
We're
movement
not
not once but
going to get
twice.
into that personally, but here's the thing.
Well, no. I'm just saying, like the
buried.
speaking out movement, he was another one that's got allegations against
And
him. I'm not
it's-
saying he's
and
guilty. I'm
we-
just saying
yeah.
there's proof of that too. And
Yep.
he said and then he denied it, but then there was more proof that doesn't cover that.
But
so, you know.
I call it here, Matt Riddle versus Brock Lesnar before 2021, and I call
You
it,
think
even
he's
as a
gonna
Brock
beat
fan,
AJ?
and I'm not going to lie, even as a Brock fan, so you can take this with a grain of salt, but he's not a Brock fan. And let me tell you something, when
In
they
some
cross,
ways I am. I respect him because of what he did to McIntyre.
but when they cross paths, Brock's going to destroy this boy. He thinks he's awesome. He's gonna.
All I wish is I hope it doesn't outshine John Cena's beating. Yes, this will deserve a beating. I don't want that to outshine John Cena's. That's still my badge of honor.
I agree. Being a Magnusite of Mr. Tyrone Magnus, that was the most. And this is nasty. This is nasty.
The most
saying
orgasmic
this
moment
was
in
the most
history.
male orgasmic moment watching a beating unfold in pro wrestling.
And the funniest thing is Brock refuses to pass the 16 suplexes he gave on Cena. He still will not let nobody pass it. Ambrose is the closest one.
Yeah,
With 14 and then Roman's 13.
Yep. But all right, that's all the time we have
Rollins
for.
got 10, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's all the time we have for today. We will be back with another episode, hopefully this week. But if not, we'll be back next week, and we'll give you further updates on the new show, Porch Talk, as they come available. But thank you, and if you're new here, like and subscribe below, and we'll see you next time on Canvas Chaos.
And I'm Hollywood Eric 86. We will see you later. God bless, and you make sure you come to my channel, Hollywood Eric 86, and watch all of my previous videos. Hopefully you enjoy them, because I know a lot of people enjoy the Vince Russo ones in particular.
Yep.
Everybody knows why.
And I have some on my channel too.
And but you need to let me do a Vince Russo rant while you're here, and then you can enjoy it too.
All right. Well, see you later.
See ya.